Yeah, this engine doesn't seem very fuel sensitive, so let me target. I mean, for fun.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what you saw was my buddy Josh Ricker has a '88 Volvo wagon, but he did something funny. Josh, you guys, if you've been around a long time, you might recognize Josh Ricker because he is a 90-degree GM V6 enthusiast, and he had the International Cutlass Sierra Coupe and some other things. He loves that quirky engine, and he has turboed them and run into a ton of issues, obviously, with the 4T60 lasting, and he tried to get a 4T80 working in that Cutlass and just had nothing but headaches also, and decided to build this Volvo wagon with the 3800 Series 2 V6 mounted in the wrong direction with a 4L80E and a Ford 8.8 rear. So now the engine will basically never be able to destroy the drivetrain, which was the total opposite of what he was doing prior. So it's nice to see that. Okay. So he has a smaller turbo on it for response, so we weren't expecting a whole lot. I forget when this was. When was this? 10/8. So October 8th is when we tossed it on. And first hit, 442. And I cannot remember exactly what we did. Josh has all the logs. He was using the laptop. What happened was he was running a decent amount of boost, and I think he had conservative ignition, but I was like, this turbo's kind of small. I bet that if you bring your boost down and just put appropriate amount of ignition in, we might even see more horsepower, because it seemed like it was a lot of boost for the turbo that it had. And we ended up messing around a little bit and coming to a good medium, and then even backing it off a lot, because I was like, you know, I bet this thing makes close to the power you're making now on significantly less boost. And I think right where we were around was about 10 pounds, and upper limit was about 22 pounds, and we just weren't seeing. I just had him back it off a bunch, because what I wanted to see was, I always talk about the percentage gain or the delta. So we brought it all the way down to wastegate and then edged up, and we could see how much horsepower per pound it was gaining, and from there you can figure that you're pushing it too far at some point. So that's what we did. We moved it all over the place, so that's why the power numbers are similar. But what we, learned was he didn't need to run as much boost as he was, and he could have calmer inlet temps, and possibly, there really wasn't an ignition or a octane issue with this car. The compression is fairly low. I think it has a small cam and valve springs, and there's literally nothing else done to it. And it was running E85. It has Snake Eater 1500s, I believe, and a MS3 Gold box with the transmission controller. Everything was working great, other than the turbo's a little small, which he has an answer to that. He has a larger Garrett GTX series, I believe a 6762, or very similar, and he's going to put that in after winter. We're going to put it back on the dyno, and it'll be really neat to see the difference between the cast 62 or 60 something it has on it now, going to the GTX series. Should be a pretty big jump. I think his overall goal is to make about 600 wheel. He was hoping this one would make 500, but it just fell short. You can see, I think this was low boost or medium boost and high boost. 442, 465, 473. So what you can see is it peaks out a little early. The converter comes up, it makes decent boost, and then it just noses the whole time. 477, 477. I loaded the same file. Pardon me, boys. We have 7. And see, now this is when I was like lower your boost all the way back down. 374 and 472, 409. So we moved all over the place, and I'm sorry, it was a couple months ago and I don't have all of the 100% facts here, but it's not like it made a ridiculous difference from low to high. It's neat to see the car. It's taken him a while to get it done, so I'm pretty proud of him to get it finished and get it driving. Really cool. He's been driving it around and everything else. It's nice to see that it has the 8.8 and everything else. Everything's working out for him. Happy, if you can't tell. Happy for Josh. So thought you guys would think that was a pretty cool project, other than Turbo LS stuff and a lot of normal things. This is pretty abnormal for a lot of people in that sense. So enjoy. And a bunch of you guys that might be fanatics of this are probably going to watch for the updates. Those should be pretty exciting also.